Hello and welcome to Antinatalism this week. What is Antinatalism is a collection of philosophical essays by philosopher Masahiro Morioka. That is not a new news. This book has been since 2021, I think. The news is a second edition of this book was published on 30th of March 2024. The two new chapters were added to the second edition, one being Painless Civilization and the Fate of Humanity, and second one, What Does Doing Philosophy Mean to Me? And I'm sorry this should have been covered in the last episode, but I missed it. Better late than never. Nirmod is an antinatalist activist in Israel. He has done street activism about antinatalism in Israel. He is going to do a tour of 34 European cities. And I think the plan is he goes in one city on a day, does street activism about antinatalism on that day, and then moves on to the next city. The tour starts on 15th of April. I have mentioned that in one of the episodes of Antinatalism this week in the past. Amanda has also done a promotion video of this event. The link to that is seen on the screen. Lawrence has done a full interview dedicated only to this event. This is the fundraiser page for the event. If you can, please help Nirmod by clicking on the Donate Now button. The Ones Who Walked Away from Omelas is a philosophical fiction by Ursula Le Guin. The story is that there is a town where everybody is happy, life is very good, but that is because somewhere in the basement a child is going through horrible suffering. Once the citizens of that town come to know that life is so good because this child is going through suffering, some of them decide to walk away from this town of Omelas. Now, this is not a new news. This story was written ages ago. The news is that Amanda has done a very beautiful song about this with a background of melodious ukulele. This is a great philosophical artwork, irrespective of what moral positions you hold. So, thanks to Amanda for this. Amanda was also interviewed on Chi and Yen's channel. This is a channel run by a child-free couple, and they've done a series of interviews of child-free and antinatalist people. Excellent work by this channel. I would urge everybody to go and view those interviews and also subscribe to the channel. A bit of a self-promotion here. I will also be interviewed on this channel in the coming days. We have decided to do this in Marathi. Marathi is my native language. It is my mother tongue. And there are about 100 million speakers of this language according to 2011 census, like 13 years ago. That's because India has not done its census since then. But even then, 100 million is like 1/3 of the entire population of United States. And even then, there is little to no content produced about antinatalism in this language. And that is why we decided to do this interview in Marathi, which will be coming up in the next few days. Talking of languages, Exploring Antinatalism podcast this week had an interview of Cansu Özge Özmen, and I'm sorry I'm most probably saying that name wrong, but she's the translator of David Benetta's Better Never to Have Been and The Human Predicament into Turkish language. She is vegan herself and does a lot of work for other animals too. She actually wanted to have children. She wanted to be mother for the same emotional reasons that people usually have for having children. But she came across antinatalism, read through antinatalism, and then decided not to have any children. So that was quite pleasantly surprising to know. They also talk about other subjects in the interview. They talk about the gender divide, why there are so less women in antinatalism and why there are so many more women and not so many men in child freedom movement. They talk about sentiocentric antinatalism, extinctionism, and then about her translations. She's also going to be translating David Benetta's Second Sexism. Thulasi Chandu is a very big YouTube channel, and they have made a video grossly misrepresenting antinatalism. The video is in Telugu language. Telugu is one of the many Indian languages. I don't understand that language, so whatever information I have about this video is a second-hand information. In the video, they confuse a lot of different topics. They talk about DINK, which is double income, no kids, child freedom, ecological reasons for not having children, population, demographics, and consider all of this as antinatalism, but they never go anywhere near to any of the core arguments of ethical antinatalism. And this is unfortunate because this is really a big channel. It has like 340,000 subscribers, and the video itself has like 100,000 views in first day. Various different reasons for not having children are increasingly becoming common, and it is going to be an uphill task for antinatalists to separate those reasons from core ethical arguments for antinatalism, while also appreciating the resulting consensual non-procreation from these reasons. Lawrence did a debate/discussion on antinatalism with a very aggressive and interrupting debater MadeByJimbob. I think that's the name of the channel. And kudos to Lawrence for doing this, because it is never easy to debate these complex subjects in real time. Lawrence has also done a video about 5 misconceptions about antinatalism. I think he covers depression, misanthropy, death, child freedom, and authoritarianism. Conundrum has done a video against the red button thought experiment. He says that the thought experiment is pretty much useless or has a very limited use, and that is because the thought experiment can never be transferred to any real life situations. That is one. And secondly, it does not tell you anything about the values that you hold, whether you press the button or not press the button. And so, except for very few niche theoretical debates, the experiment is of no use according to him. Mati has also done a video talking about red button thought experiment this week, but he brings up a very interesting nuance. He distinguishes between two scenarios. In one scenario, the presser of the button has everybody's permission to press the button. In another scenario, he does not. And based on this distinction, Mati draws out different routes to different positions of antinatalism. This is all nice and interesting, but what is not clear to me is who is everybody in this case? Is it all humans, or does it also include other animals? That is because we cannot really take permission of other animals. So then in the experiment, is it only humans who are going to vanish, or other animals also will vanish? Now, I'm going to take some guesses here. In case of sterilization, we don't really take consent of other animals when we do sterilization on them. But at the same time, we are also opposed to forced sterilization of humans. So in the same vein, we can say that in the red button thought experiment, when we say everybody's permission, we only take permission of humans. We don't take permission of animals. But when we press the button, everybody, humans including other animals, will vanish. That could be one variance. I don't know if that is what Mati meant here. I'm just guessing this could be one of the scenarios. I think Lawrence has started Streisand effect about red button thought experiment. Streisand effect, named after Barbara Streisand, as you can see on the screen here, is the effect where if you try to ban from talking about a subject, that subject is talked about even more. A similar thing seems to have happened about red button thought experiment. He made a video saying that antinatalists should not talk about red button, and as a reaction to that, there are videos coming up talking about red button. I am equally guilty of it because in the last episode we talked about red button thought experiment. But credit to Lawrence that the discussion is now not about whether you would be pressing the button or not, but about whether we should talk about red button or not. The Antinatalist Handbook is a list of 60 common excuses people use for procreation. The book answers all of those excuses. The news is that this book is getting reviewed. So if you have any feedback or suggestions, or you want to contribute with some new excuses, you can write, you can contact using this form, which you can see on the screen. I will include the link of this in the description. And those were the stories about antinatalism this week. If I've missed any, let me know in the comments.